Gary Lineker has angrily asked Elon Musk if it is acceptable that his son has received a death threat today on Twitter, following his row with the BBC. He typed to the owner of the social media app, "Is this acceptable at Twitter at Elon Musk? And I don't mean the grammar." It comes after George Lineker revealed he had been told he needed burning at the stake in a vile message from a Twitter user. The user typed to George, "You're a mug, how dare you stick up for USH house of a dad. You need to be burned at the stake." The 28-year-old responded publicly by saying, "Social media's mad, isn't it? Over the last few days, on Instagram, never had so many nice messages. On Twitter, never had so much abuse. It's not even anything to do with me." In response to Gary sharing the abusive message his son had received, in view of his 8.9 million followers, the Mott host was quickly backed up by his fans. One commented, "It used to be the more decent social media platform. People would debate and have decent conversations. Facebook was the cesspit of gossip and trolls, but they've sadly moved over to Twitter in the last few years." Another remarked, "Big moves tweeting Elon. Don't miss." The nasty comment from the troll came as Gary is set to return to presenting sport on the BBC after he was temporarily suspended for criticising the language used by ministers when discussing the government's asylum policy. Tim Davie, the Director General of the BBC, apologised on Monday for the widespread disruption to sports programming over the weekend, and announced an independent review of the corporation's internal social media guidelines. "Everyone recognises this has been a difficult period for staff, contributors, presenters and, most importantly, our audiences," said Davie. "I apologise for this. The potential confusion caused by the grey areas of the BBC's social media guidance that was introduced in 2020 is recognised. I want to get matters resolved and our sports content back on air." The corporation's social media guidelines are meant to govern BBC staff and presenters who work in news and politics, not those in other areas, such as sports. "Impartiality is important to the BBC," said Davie. "It is also important to the public. The BBC has a commitment to impartiality in its charter and a commitment to freedom of expression. That is a difficult balancing act to get right where people are subject to different contracts and on-air positions, and with a different audience and social media profiles." Davie announced a review of his social media policy, to be led by an independent expert, which will have a particular focus on how it applies to freelancers outside news and current affairs. Gary, who is currently the BBC's highest-paid presenter, receiving £1.35 annually, welcomed the review and said he was keen to get back to presenting duties, including Match of the Day.